All right, let's talk about something that feels like a secret weapon for anyone who works with data. Have you ever been staring at a spreadsheet trying to figure out who your top salespeople are in each region, or how your sales grew from last month to this month, and just got stuck? Well, today we're diving into something called SQL Window Functions. And trust me, they're a total game changer. So to really get this, let's start with a problem that I bet a lot of you have run into in one way or another. It sounds so simple on the surface, but it perfectly shows why our usual tools sometimes just don't cut it. Here it is. The question is, how do you find the top 3 highest paid employees in each department? Now, the key words there are in each department. Finding the top 3 overall, that's easy. But finding the top 3 within sales, and the top 3 within engineering, and the top 3 within marketing, all in one go, that's where things get tricky. Now, if you've used SQL before, your first thought is probably, oh, I'll just use Group By, right? But here's the catch. Group By is designed to summarize. It takes all the rows for a department and squishes them down into a single summary row, like the average salary. But we don't want to lose the individual employees. What we really want is to keep all of our original rows, but just add a new piece of information to each one, their rank inside their own team. And this is where our hero enters the story. The elegant, powerful solution to this exact problem is a special kind of function called a window function. So what on earth is a window function? You can think of it as a calculation that can look at a group of rows, a window, that are related to the current row. But, and this is the absolute key, it does its math without crushing your data. It gives you back an answer for every single row you started with. It enriches your data instead of summarizing it. The secret sauce that makes this all work is one little keyword, over. The over clause is basically you telling the database, hey, for this calculation, I want you to only look at this specific group of rows. It's what defines the window. So how does it actually work? Well, inside that over clause, you use a command called partition by, and it does exactly what it sounds like. It takes your big table and basically sorts it into virtual buckets or partitions. You got a bucket for the sales team, a bucket for engineering, and so on. Then the ranking function runs completely independently inside each bucket. That's the whole trick. That's how you get a rank relative to the department, not the entire company. Okay, now that we've got the basic idea down, let's zoom in on the most common use for window functions, which is ranking. And to make this super clear, we're going to use a really simple analogy. Just picture the finish line of a running race. The way we'd naturally handle ties between runners is the perfect mental model for understanding the 3 main ranking functions in SQL. They each have a slightly different personality, especially when it comes to ties. Okay, check this out. Let's say 2 runners tie for 3rd place. First up is rank. This is like the official Olympic results. They both get the rank of 3. But because 2 people took up the 3rd and 4th spots, the very next runner gets 5th place. It leaves a gap. Next you have dense rank. This one is a bit more forgiving. The 2 runners still get a rank of 3, but the next person in line gets 4th place. No gaps, it just keeps the sequence going. And finally, you have row number. This one is the simplest of all. It literally doesn't care about ties. It just gives every single row a unique sequential number. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. But wait, there's more. Window functions aren't just for ranking. They can also do something that feels a bit like time travel. They can let you peek at the rows that came right before or right after the one you're looking at. And this time travel is done with 2 incredibly simple functions, lag and lead. And they do exactly what they sound like. Lag lets you look backward, to lag behind and grab a value from the previous row. Lead lets you look forward, to see the value from the very next row. It's a surprisingly simple idea, but it's so powerful. So why is this useful? Well, think about calculating month-over-month sales growth. With lagging, you can just pull last month's sales number right onto this month's row, which makes the calculation trivial. Or maybe you want to know the time between a customer's purchases. You could use lead to pull their next purchase date onto the current row. These are the kinds of analyses that used to be a real headache, and now they're just simple. So when you put it all together, whether you're ranking or looking between rows, what you're really doing is seeing your data in context. You're comparing a row to its neighbors. And that ability, that's what makes these functions a genuine superpower. It completely changes the types of questions you can even think to ask. Now, before you run off and try this, there is one super important rule you have to know. Think of a query as an assembly line. The where clause, which does all your filtering, happens before the window function gets to do its job. So you can't say where rank is less than 3 in the same step, because the rank hasn't even been calculated yet. So what's the right way to do it? It's a simple two-step dance. First, you run your query with the window function to calculate all the ranks. You wrap that whole thing up in what's called a common table expression, or CTE, which is basically a temporary named result. Then, in step 2, you write a brand new, super simple query that just selects from that temporary result and applies your filter. First you calculate, then you filter. It's a clean, reliable pattern. And this is why all this matters so much. Once you get this concept, you just unlock a whole new world of analysis. Finding top performers in any group becomes easy. Hunting down duplicate records is a piece of cake. You can analyze trends over time without twisting your brain into a pretzel. Really, it lets you ask much, much smarter questions of your data. So I'll just leave you with this question to think about. Now that you know you can do this, that you can so easily rank within groups and look between rows, what patterns have been hiding in your data this whole time, just waiting for you to ask the right question?